Yeah, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you another episode of Learn JavaScript using Foundry VTT. uh, Maybe that'll work, I guess. So in our last episode, we started talking about operators, and we got to this part right here where I was talking modulus, and for some reason, I was just having a kind of brain fart, whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to explain, I do know why we got 2 as this answer. If we go run this, you'll see that, when we divide age by 3, which is 50 divided by 3, we get 16.666666668. And if we do the modulus, what did I do there? And if we do the modulus, we actually get back to, I need to change the wording on that. So, the modulus of Tasman's age, the remainder of Tasman's age divided by 3 is, yeah, that seems to work okay. So, and that gave us 2. Now, and I was wondering, for some reason I was expecting 6, at least the 6 or at least some of this portion. And I don't know why I was thinking that. So this is if we divide it and we get back our entire number. So this is where our quotient is actually being converted into a float or a double, depending on what other programming languages you know. However, the reason it's 2 here is because of this. So if we take 3, right, and I'm just doing this with my mouse, so forgive the ugliness, and we divide by 50, right, well, we know that 3 goes into 5 one time. That gives us 3 down here, and 5 minus 3, that gives us 20 now, right? And then 3 goes into 20, goes in 6 times, and that gives us 18. And 20, 18, that gives us 2 down here. So when we're talking remainder, this is the remainder right here. And can I move that up just a little? There we go. So this is the remainder right here. This is our quotient, right, which is the value. So that's where I was messing up. I was expecting it to be the decimal portion of this, because if I do this again, I get 20, then we get, another 6, and 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. So for those that didn't know that, and I didn't want it to be confusing, but that's what it's actually doing. So let's get back and do this. Now, let's say you didn't want all the decimal portion. You wanted to make sure that this was going to stay. Your quotient was going to stay a whole number. You can do that, and this is a little bit more advanced, but once again, we're going to get into one of our pre-built objects, and this object is called math. So if we wanted to do this and do const, and let's just call it maybe QUO for quotient TAS. I really need to come up with better names for these. So we would do uppercase M ATH because it's the math object, and what we're accessing in the math object is a method called floor, and this will only return the whole number of the quotient. It's not going to round it, because if we're rounding it, it would actually say, oh, this is a 6, so this goes up to 17. This is just going to give you the flat out floor, not rounded, just truncating the decimal. So we're going to do floor, and then we're going to take our age divided by TAS, like so. Our age TAS divided by 3. Can't talk today. Alright, so now when we do that, now if we come down here, maybe we'll just copy this one so we have it in here. And we'll do the quotient, or the whole quotient. I don't know what to call this. The maybe WHO whole. That looks really weird to me. NUNBR. The whole number quotient, QUOTIONT. Maybe I'm misspelling that. I don't know. I know I am actually. COUTION quotient. I have no idea. I'm a really bad speller nowadays. Whole even looks weird to me. But anyway, we'll just roll with it because I don't want to take forever doing this. And we'll call this QUO. And the whole reason we're putting in the words is so we can separate it here. So now if we clear this out and we hit run, you'll see that the whole number quotient is 16 instead of 17. So that's how you can get that. So let's move on. I didn't want to spend too much time on that, and apparently I spent like 6 minutes. So what we talked about so far is we've talked about these guys up here. We have the arithmetic or mathematical operators. We also talked a little bit about concatenation, which is the addition sign. Now Java is smart enough in some senses and not smart enough in other senses. Like if we were to take a number, for example, this whole number here, this number here is a number. That's why it doesn't have quotes around it. However, when we concatenate it with all this other stuff, even the true, when we concatenate it, it turns into a string. And we can check what type of thing, what type of types, I guess, a value is by using what's called the type operators. And there's actually two of them. One we're not going to go into because it gets a little too deep for right now. It's called instance of. The other one is called type of. And I can't remember if we kind of talked a little bit about that one when we were doing our variables and values. Actually, I could check. I'm not going to. It doesn't matter. So the type of operator is going to tell us what type something is. So if we said console.log and we do type of, typeof, and we do a space and then we put in our value, so 100 here, this is going to return at the very bottom of our list here, number, right? So there we go. This is a number. If we do a Boolean, we could do I'm pretty sure I did do this because I remember doing object and stuff. So I'm not going to go too deep into this. But when we concatenate something like this, it's going to turn the entire thing into a string. Even though we have a Boolean and we have this, it's not going to say type of, string number Boolean. It's going to convert it all into just that single value. So if we do this and do Control C, and we'll just paste that in here, you'll see that we're going to get back that we now have a string. Maybe. Do I need to put this in parentheses? Oh, it's right there, string. Because then it's actually outputting our string in this case. So, there you go. So, you can see it is a string, and then this is what the whole thing is. It's basically telling us what this first one is because we don't have it all grouped. So let's group it and see if that fixes it. There we go. Now it's just telling us it's a string. So we could actually do type of many times. In fact, so the reason we were getting that type of string and then all the rest of it is because we were getting the type of a full name, which is right here. And then it was going to concatenate the type of that, which is string, to the rest of this that has been converted to a string. So hopefully that makes sense. This is just kind of a thing that can be useful if you're wondering why all of a sudden you're getting there, and it turns out, you're trying to multiply or add. Like if we were to try and add a value, and multiply automatically, I believe, converts. That's why when we did it yesterday when I was doing it, it automatically answered us. So when we said 2 times 3, whoops, that's not times, and then did this, we actually get back, or 3 times 3. Let's fix it how it was, how I said. So if we do this, it's actually going to come back because the multiplier is only working with numbers. So it knows this is a number, and it says, hey, this has to be a number. It is a number value of a string, so it can convert it. So if we run this, unless I did it wrong, we get 6. However, if we try and do this with the addition, we don't get that. So if we say, oh, I might have done something there. Okay, it looks like maybe I didn't. So if we do plus here and we run this, we're actually going to get 23 because it's taking the string the number value and adding it to a string value, and we get the 2 and a 3 converted to a string. So that was why also in the other video where we were trying to show you, yeah, you can't really do that. You might get an error or you might get unexpected results. That's why it's doing that. So if I wanted to say, you know, dog here, dog, we're going to get 2 dog because it's converting it to a string. Now, if I try doing this with a multiply, because this isn't a number value that can be converted, we're actually going to get some different results. So if we do 2 times dog, we'll get a not a number, right? And I think, if I'm remembering right, like I said, I did Java a long time ago, but if we do dog times 2, I think we'll actually get some different results as well, because we're taking dog and we're timesing it by 2 instead of trying to do 2 times dog, right? So if we do this, we still get an odd number. Okay. In some programming languages, this would actually do dog, dog. So you get double dogs down here. Guess JavaScript isn't that language. Or maybe I'm just doing it wrong. So hopefully that explains that. And now that we've talked about typeof and concatenation even more, we're going to talk about some other types of operators. So the next one, I should probably just go ahead and throw this in here. Type operators, T-Y-P-E-P-R-A-T-O-R-S. So type operators, we have, and I'm just going to put these in quotes because if I don't, they could cause errors. So we're going to say we have the typeof, T-Y-P-E-O-F, which will, let's just do maybe a minus and say RETUR returns the T-Y-P-E, of the VALU value or VARIABLE variable. And then we have the instance of, but I'm not going to write that one down because we'll cover that later. All right, the next one we're going to talk about is called the assignment operator. And we've already used the assignment operator a whole lot. And basically what it's saying is the value that is on the right will be assigned to the value on the left. And let's go ahead and type that real quick. So we're going to say ASSIGNMENT assignment. Sorry, if you don't like me actually saying what I'm typing, that just helps me less likely to mistype it. So I apologize for that. All right, so our assignment operator, like I said, we've used a lot. For example, up here, we've assigned the value Taz, the string, and there's the assignment operator, into the variable first name. Now, we've also done it where we've assigned a variable, concatenated variable even, into a variable. So you can do that. The one thing you cannot do is you cannot assign a value into a value. I guess we before I say that, let's try it, but I'm pretty sure it turns it into, I don't know. Actually, let's check it. So if we say we have a value of 50 and we say equals 5, it's not really an evaluation that it's doing. It's trying to assign it. So my guess is we should get an error. And there we go. So as you can see, it says invalid left-hand side in assignment because we can't assign 5 to 50. We can't make 50 actually equal the value 5 because this is also a value. Finally, something works for me that I try and explain, and it does what it does. So here's what we're going to do. So there are 7 assignment operators, and we're going to go through them really quick. So the first one, obviously, is the equals, right? So we're going to just do let, and we're just going to use x in this case, equal 5. So this will assign 5 into the variable of x. The first one we're going to talk about is called the incrementing operator. So we'll just call this the equal operator, I guess. Equal operator. The first one, like I said, we're going to talk about is called the incrementing operator. So I'm going to, instead of doing a console log for every single one, we're just going to have a single console log as we progress. So if we do console console log, and we'll just output x. And just to do this, we'll just do x colon and then say string this x. Whoops, other squiggly brace. Okay, so if we do this now, we execute it, you'll see x equals 5. So our first one, like I said, is going to be the incrementing operator. And all you have to do that is do an x and 2 pluses. And this will say, hey, add 1 to x. Right? So we could say incrementing operator maybe. And now if we go ahead and output this, x will actually equal 6. So there we go. X is now equal to 6. Now, as there's the incrementing operator, I'm going to copy this because I'm a slow typer, as you guys probably totally know by now. There's also the decrementing operator. So if we do a minus minus, we get the D-E-C-R, I don't know how to spell decrement, D-E-C-R-E, M-E-N-T-I-N-G. So this will return x back because it's going to subtract 1. So this, let's go ahead and just say adds 1, right? And this one obviously is going to S-U-B-T-R-A, subtract 1. So that's going to subtract 1, that's going to add 1. The next one we have is if we want to add a certain number, what we can do, there's 2 ways you could actually do this. One is not even using the operator itself, but more you could, I guess you could say it's longhand. So for example, if we wanted to add 5 to x, we could go x equals, so we want to take x and we want to assign it the value of x plus, say, 5. Right? And this will give us 10. X will now equal 10. So if we run this, you can see x equals 10, because what we're doing is we're taking the value of x, which is 5, adding 5 to it, which is 10, and then assigning it back into that same variable, overriding what's already there. So we can do this in what's a shorthand way by simply getting rid of the second x. And we also kind of actually reverse the thing. So we do plus equals. So this is basically the same thing as saying x equals x plus 5, but we're just saying x plus equals 5, and this will give us 10. So there you go, we got 10. Now, I think technically you could do, I know you can with where you put these pluses, you can put them before and after, and we'll talk about that a little later. I just want to verify that you cannot do it here, because it kind of would make more sense to do equals plus, but I've always done plus equals with other programming languages. And here you can see it's not actually working right. And I'm thinking that's because we're simply saying x equals plus 5. So it's basically putting the value of nothing, or 0, whoops. It's putting the value of 0 here, because we don't have anything, so basically we're adding nothing to 5, and that's why we're doing that. So it does have to be, and that does make sense to me, that you do have to have the plus first. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll do the plus. Now, just as we have that, we also have the subtraction that we can do. So we could also come in here, and now we could do x minus equals, and let's do 4, you know. And so if we do that, what do I want to call this? This maybe addition assignment? Addition, A-S-S-I-G-N-T. Okay, addition assignment and subtraction assignment. Now this type of stuff comes in very handy as you start doing lots of programming stuff. Sub T R A C subtraction. That does not T-I-O, because I have the I in the wrong spot. That still doesn't look right to me for some reasons. S-U-B-T-R-A-C-T-I-O-N. I don't know. I learned Spanish, and it's totally thrown off my English, my spelling and everything. When I was younger, I lived in Chile for 2 years. All right, so so we have those two. Now we also have the multiplication and division, which is the same thing. So here now we should have 6 when we run this. So let's go ahead and clear that. We'll go ahead and hit OK. And whoops, did I do something wrong here? Oh, I didn't do the Wait, what did I do? Oh, I did minus plus. That is not going to work. Minus equals. There we go. Now we get the 6 we're expecting. I wish that didn't automatically go up every time we did that. All right, so then we're going to do one more. We're going to do Control C here. We're going to do Control V, and this is the multiplication. M-U-L-T-I-P-L-I-C-A-T-I-O-N. Okay, so this is the multiplication one. Let's just maybe times, yeah, we'll times it by 4. So we have 6, we're going to times it by 4, that's going to give us 24, right? So we're going to do multiplication here. Oh, I'm doing it wrong. We're going to do multiplication here. We're going to do multiplication equals. And this should give us 24. And there we go, sure does. And the final one is going to be the division. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to do divide equals. I'm actually going to do the right one the first time this time. Let's divide it by 2 to give us 12. So do that and do division. D-I-V-I-S-I-O-N. And if we execute that, now we got 12. So these are our assignment operators. These are the main ones you'll use. I don't use the multiplication or the division very much, but definitely the addition I use boatloads. In fact, even the subtraction I don't use. These ones right here and this guy right here, I probably use lots. I mean, this always. The incrementing and the addition also quite a bit. So that is our, what time is it? 24 minutes. Still have quite a bit to go. let's go ahead and call it here. Let you mull over the things we've learned. Yeah, I think this is a good spot. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my Discord and my other channels. Oh, and click the notification bell. Always forget that. Tell other people on my channel. Have them check it out. If they like what they see, they can sub. We grow the channel. And that is it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.